My name is Afton. I'm a visual artist living in northern New Mexico. I make really large, or tend to make really large scale brushed graphite drawings. So I use powdered graphite with no medium and cut down stubby paintbrushes and create large landscapes, land formations, usually like erosional rock formations, and rock portraits on tracing paper. And then after the drawing is done, I dip each sheet of tracing paper in wax, and that's like the binder. That's what solidifies the graphite to the paper and gives like a subtle gradation of color. When I went to art school, all the work I was making was completely abstract. I've never been drawn to hyperrealism, but you could say what I do now is hyperrealistic. And I'm trying to achieve an abstract concept and an abstract feeling through specificity. So the more specific I can be getting into a rock surface and into a specific place, like my work is becoming more and more like place-based. It's like narrowing in here in northern New Mexico. The more through that lens I can express something larger, which has a lot more to do with sort of like our human existence and our human timeline, like how we express ourselves and how we see ourselves as something that is oftentimes fixed or oftentimes not moving. And so by showing these rocks as something that's alive and something that is changing and evolving, and even though it's on like a geologic time scale, it might force us to look at ourselves in relation to that, and that sort of existential moment of like, am I big or am I small? Am I living or am I dying? Or, you know, which direction is it all going? And just witnessing that for even a split second. It's kind of what you experience a lot of times when you're out in nature, when you're walking around. You kind of get these bigger feelings and bigger thoughts, and you are placing yourself in relation to kind of like everything else in the world or at large. My mom was born in Santa Fe. My aunt and uncle moved here when I was young. So I used to spend summers here, and I've traveled, you know, to northern New Mexico when I was a kid, and then I didn't return until, you know, like 2014 and 15, I think. And then when I did, it kind of just like felt right, and it felt big, and it felt real, and I just started moving my life in this direction kind of ever since then. Yeah, but it had a lot to do with the geography and the geology and finding certain rocks that were kind of like gonna stay in my life.
It's a feeling you get, I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's certain ones, you know, you just are like, oh, cool. It's like when you meet a person that you know you vibe with.